back again on your screens. This is BMPS, bald, muscled, pot-bellied, and skinny. I always like to stress that because this gentleman right here to my left, possible.
Always eating, never going big.
Anyway, he's not the only one here. You can also see on your screens Jason representing the muscle. And well, of course, that's why I paired you guys.
Man,
But I also have Nanye representing the bald community.
Bald and wisdom.
Well, bald and wisdom? Well, I'm sure we'll find out in this episode.
Absolutely.
But this is a man's world, BMPS. This is a man's world, and we discuss everything from relationship to sports to business to career to love to money, everything from a man's perspective. So I'm pretty sure you're gonna love today's episode because we're talking about ego. Ego, bro. Men and their ego, you know that Nigerian thing, they go like this. Yeah, so what do you think easily bruises a man's ego? Generally, let's look at that generally, and then maybe we can pick on, you know, like the individual ones. I want to start with you, Nanye.
All right, before you can even look at that, ego is everything that we are, right? So it's the one thing that remains as it is, regardless of your physical situation. Whether you're broke, rich, car, walking, your ego is always above you, right? Always. Cool. So now, if someone decides to step on that thing, that is the very essence of who you are, we're gonna have a problem.
Right.
Now, what you're asking is, well, what's the limit to that? We'll get to that as well.
Yeah, we're definitely getting into that. Jason, you're smiling.
Mr. Beyonce. I'm actually smiling because I agree with everything he's saying, but I just have little to add to it that when you talk about bruising the ego, I feel it normally has to do with the circumstance or the environment. Because, for instance, let me just create a scenario. Your woman, while you guys are in the bedroom or like in your own safe space, just the two of you, could be playing like, oh, Jimmy, you guys talk to you. But if she talks to you like that in a public space, or let me even say around your workplace where you're probably like on a middle management level, it's not going to go well. It's not going to go well. So yeah, it's everything we are, but what bruises it depends on, one, the person who is bruising it and the environment in which he or she is bruising it.
I'm very sure that you're going to say something very sensible.
Skinny ego.
We hope. We hope.
One can.
Pussy.
No, we talk.
Oh, we're not talking it.
We're motivating.
Oh, come on.
Tell me
the motivation.
Huh?
Motivate what?
We're motivating you.
You are motivating me.
We're motivating your ego.
Didn't you see the lady passing to the gym?
Hey.
He be the motivator.
Nobody has talked about a lady right
now. He's saying that he wants to motivate you. There are ladies here that I'm.
But we all know that when you're at California Fitness, you know, all the
nice
ladies
come
in the
past.
name.
California.
No matter what I'm doing, what will bruise my ego is disrespect.
Disrespect.
Like, no matter where I am, no matter who you are.
What do you call disrespect?
I was about to say that. Define
what do you call disrespect?
It could mean a whole
like
lot
Jason
of
said,
things.
I mean, when you're in the bedroom with your girlfriend or your wife, and she says, or something. But also, I think that depends on how it is said.
It is said.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But you would know. You would know.
I mean, disrespect comes in so many forms. It doesn't matter, like, I mean, this.
Let me find out. You take such jokes.
It depends on our relationship.
My stupid babe.
It depends on our relationship. Right? It depends on our relationship. For me, like, I like being in a relationship where the
with
woman
older
I'm
women.
dating.
What?
Don't worry.
What did you say?
But you know the other time we were.
This thing, like I forget people where I beat them. I'm not going to beat them.
But you're my brother. You're my brother.
I'm going to beat you right now.
But anyway, let's hear.
No, but it's true. Like, I mean, it depends on the relationship we have. For instance, me, if I'm dating you, like, I want us to have fun, all right? But then also, you, the man, with your ego, you should let your woman or whoever you are in a relationship with, whatever relationship it is, it could be your boss and all, you should command respect for yourself. Your ego should command respect for yourself. I mean, the respect should be to the point that your boss can't just come to you in public and go like talk in your face like that. That is what I am always guarded with. No matter what, no matter the relationship Jason and I have to do something for Jason to respect me and know that, okay, fine. I have a limit with possible and all that, and then when we are going there, I know where to cut
he's not gonna like it.
So whether you are my wife or whatever, you can say to me, oh, you're a fool in the bedroom. But then, consciously, if you come out, and even you want to say that, because of the respect I have let you like have for me, you know that, okay, fine, I don't have to say this
at that moment.
Around here and all. So your ego should also command respect for yourself. Now you get ego, you know the command respect. For
example, if you find yourself in an office space where you're not doing what is expected of you.
I mean, anybody can disrespect you.
You don't even respect yourself, so you get ego.
Okay, no, but let's look at it from this point where you actually have everything that you're supposed to do lined up, and in your view, you think you're doing it. For example, when you're in an office space, you're doing exactly what is expected of you, but there is this boss of yours that likes to throw words around and insult you. And if you're that type that has a problem with it, it bruises your ego when your boss, insults you. It's more like that boss dragging your ego. What do you do?
Well, you got a choice to make. So in that situation, boss is paying you, I guess.
Yeah, of course.
And I guess like I said, everyone has a threshold depending on what the situation is. So you look at that, you're like, you know what? This guy's paying me this situation. My limitation for what I can take for him, I'll place it here. You know, if he goes past here, then I have a choice to make. Do I give in to what my ego is feeling? Or do I'm like, or do I feel like, maybe I should wait a bit? I mean, for me personally, if a boss exceeds the limitation, I'll probably come see him outside of work. Oh yeah.
No, what do you mean by that?
I will, whatever that means, I will come see him. I'll be like, I will confront him and I'll say, you know what, listen, like I've come to you as the individual as opposed to your employee. That I don't like how you did this. And to be honest, it's the outcome of that conversation that will probably determine what I do next. With ego, also within the confines of the environment you're in, you have to be smart about how you react to certain things. If everyone starts acting on their ego, the world will be even more disastrous than it actually already is. Can you imagine, like, you have an argument, let's say, we spoke about relationships the other day. Imagine you're in a relationship with someone and the person, outside of the house, you go through, as a black man, for example, you go through every day where everything is sort of geared and in place to sort of keep you at a certain level. And the one safe space you have is at home with your family, and you come home and that one person that is in your safe space is giving you hell and is bruising your ego. Yo, that can kill a man. And that does kill men, right? So, can you imagine if every man acted on that and responded based on what their ego feels at that moment in time? Listen, there'll be a lot of murders.
The course will be filled with
right? And that is what a lot of people have a very low threshold. So that results in a lot of actions and reactions that, society would deem as perhaps not necessary, and that's how it ends up in those situations.
So Jason, for example, with what Nanya is saying, when do you say it is okay, it is enough, I'm not taking any more of this? When do you, come in with that?
The first time.
Exactly. Straight up.
Come on.
How many times does it have to be?
Straight up.
No, so then it means that you don't give people chances. You don't give them second tries.
You give people second chances and they'll ride over you. So my boss has always told me that. Listen, take your stand and keep with it.
Okay, so let me ask it this way. What would you do if your boss insults you?
Okay, so he insults me in front of everybody. Right?
Yes. Okay. Let me say, if your boss does something that bruises your ego,
even though I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yes,
right?
of course.
Yeah. So in a situation like this, you need to be smart. If you try to match him or try to bruise his ego over there, it will not work because there's an organizational structure. So first thing I would do is I'll wait till you finish displaying your bitchy tantrum, and then I'll come to you in your office and go like, sir, I really did not appreciate the way you spoke to me, blah blah, in a very calm tone. Then if it happens again, oh, I'll give it back to you.
No, then it means that you gave him a first chance. Like,
Yeah,
because
but
you
that's
said
what I'm
the
saying.
first time.
But the example you
that's what-
gave,
that's
The example you gave is
was
maybe so
a
he
limit
does
of
it
a
the first
yeah.
time, he does it the second
Yeah.
time. No, the first time I'm going straight to the point to let you know that I did not like it. So it happened once, and I let you know I did not like it. So it should end there. But if it doesn't end, oh, I'll let you have a piece of your cake.
There's certain levels of what can attack your ego. So for example, a boss insulting you at work bruises your ego. Let's say you've married and let's say you're going through a divorce and woman takes your child away. That's another version of ego.
That's true.
That one doesn't, most people wouldn't give
See,
it
there are
second chance.
levels. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
there are levels.
There's certain levels that hit different points of
For
your
me,
ego
I-
and your reactions are different.
I only think that, example, at the workplace, like, if you are with your boss, all right, some bosses don't listen. They don't care about who you are.
They don't care about
They
your
don't care
feelings.
about
Right.
your
Yeah.
feelings.
They don't.
Whatever, because they'll be like, okay, fine. I have a super boss who is also giving me pressure. So I'm also
I also have to give you pressure.
give you the pressure. So I mean, what will happen is that you do the first one. I'm not going to say anything.
Okay,
Just gonna be-
you are not going to say this.
I'm not going to
very
say
patient.
anything.
I
No,
like
no,
that.
hold on. I'm not going to
Well,
say.
I'll tell you something about
No,
myself.
you know why? It has happened to me before.
Okay.
In the workplace before. I'm not going to say anything. I'll do my job. Finish, go. When it happens for the second time, then this time I know that maybe I'm leaving
The workplace.
the workplace.
Yeah.
I wouldn't come fight you, argue with you in your office or whatever. No. But even my resignation wouldn't come instantly or maybe a month after what you did. I'll just give it a period. But that will be the reason why I'm resigning.
Okay. the
But I'll
ego
just give
thing.
you a period so that you know the word goes around and it comes around.
Yeah, that's true.
The person is your boss. You might not know the institution where maybe from where you are, you'll be moving to another sports,
Right.
whatever. He may have friends.
Of course, they always, the boss
Exactly.
always.
Yeah.
So, okay, fine, reference. Oh, this boy doesn't respect this boy, blah, 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 blah. You understand?
Yeah.
So just solve the thing, cool.
But not to cut you.
That alone command, like, gives
A lot of
the whole
respect.
respect.
But not to cut you, I perfectly understand what you're saying. But if it happens that I should move to another place, okay, and a boss, the new boss, seems to be a friend of the old boss, and tells
You might
me,
not
oh,
know.
wait, let me finish.
Which is very
I might not know. And he says, oh, this and this and this and this is what I heard about him. It tells me the kind of person you are. So yeah, F you too.
It doesn't matter.
I'll move to the next.
You were saying you had a
Yeah, I have I have had a boss that has bruised my ego over the years.
wow.
Yes, but you see, that is where I don't know if I should tell the story, but the thing is, this is where I begin to think, how and when do you know when to draw the line? Because sometimes you might feel, for example, if you're a quick-tempered person, let's assume that I'm a quick-tempered person. How do I know that it is an issue of my quick-temperedness, or it is actually him bruising my ego? Do you understand where I'm coming from?
right,
yeah, makes
For example,
sense.
he speaks to you anyhow. Maybe if you say a particular thing, it hurts me. It might not hurt you, right? So how do I know? Oh, this is personal. It is because he said that I have a big head, for example, and I feel like, oh, he's bruised my ego. You feel me? But the next person wouldn't feel like that.
Right.
So I have had this person bruise my ego over the years. And one of the reasons why I'm still with that person is because of the love for the job. It's not as if I can't move away from it, but I feel like this is where I belong and I should stay with this person.
Right.
So that also feels like he's taking an advantage of the fact that I've chosen to be there.
Because sometimes he also knows that
Exactly.
you're
90% of the institutions in Ghana, the bosses or the organizations
They take advantage of people, right?
of the people
Yeah,
who work
it's
there.
Yeah, so that's why I'm asking, how do you know that this has got to do with your personal? Because sometimes your ego can be stupid.
Yeah.
We talk to friends. to be
Your ego
honest.
can be stupid.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just you just being stupid,
being
you know,
stupid,
you know. So
thinking.
We talk to friends. Like sometimes you might go for something. Oh, yo, Charlie, you know what happened to me today?
This and this and this.
Did I overreact?
Like, nah.
Let me tell you this very quick story.
I have a friend. No, but most guys tend to be quite honest with each other.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to tell you a very funny story back in high school, but that will be after we're back from this commercial break. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been BMPS, bald, muscled, pot-bellied, and sexy, where we discuss issues about men, about women, about love, about everything from a man's perspective. And we're going for a short commercial break. We'll be right back.
And she's like, oh yeah, and you're shit in bed anyway.
Yo, I was like this. I was like this. I was like,
Breathing, I feel for you. And I just stopped, and I remember stopping and I looked at her. Like, I looked into her soul. just to remind myself.
I'm so shocked.
Yo, like, I looked and I was like, it was how did it get there? Like, how did it escalate so quick?
Back from the break, this is BMPS, bald, muscled, pot-bellied, and skinny. This gentleman right here is causing issues.
What's
Also,
the issue after?
but anyway, we've been talking about ego.
delete my shoe.
What would actually bruise a man's ego? Where to draw the line? When to say it is enough, and all issues around that. So I said I was going to tell you guys a story, and that was actually based on what Jason said. Or I don't know if it was you that said it depends on whom you're talking to. So I'll tell you a very funny story, very quick one and very short one. So I think I was in JSS 1, you know, at the time, and there was this teacher that hated me so much. I knew it for a fact, and unlucky for me, I had done something against him and he was supposed to punish me. But I think he went overboard and he hit me, Charlie. The guy lashed me, make a feel. And so I was so angry, went to take my seat, and the guy next to me said, Charlie, I do the okufia catcher papa. and then I was like, and when I said this, I was actually crying. And so I was moved to go home. I went to call my dad, and then my dad, of course, came to the school. He asked what went on, and he was briefed. And Charlie, I had to take an L. And I'm saying that if this guy hadn't said, hey, for the Okofia, catch up, papa, maybe I would have shut up. Because when my dad came in, Charlie, it was worse. Wow. So I actually agree with you that it also depends on whom you're talking to, because some friends are really not going to be honest.
but I mean, I'm not going to tell you to stop.
My biggest ego.
Your ego is good. You want to go do something, and I'll go like, oh, stop me. Go.
Charlie,
My biggest ego, like, I'm gonna be on the real here. For me, as a man, a biggest ego killer is if something comes into the sexual domain, right?
Oh, that's also another angle though.
I remember sometimes, I'll never forget the first ever big argument I ever had with a girl. We were arguing about something non-related. And she's like, oh yeah, and you're shit in bed anyway.
Yo, I was like this. I was like this.
Breathing, I feel for you. And I just stopped, and I remember stopping and I looked at her. Like, I looked into her soul. just to remind myself.
So shocked.
Yo, like, I looked and I was like, how did it get there? Like, how did it escalate so quick? You know, it was something so trivial, like, I think I left the toilet seat up. Something
that's like you on the hair in the
so we're going back and forth, back and forth. She really wanted to get at you. Back and forth. I hate when you leave the toilet seat. I'm like, we can just put it down. She's like, and that's why you're sitting in bed.
And that's why it's going to be over between us anyways.
I swear if it was me.
Did you shit in bed?
There and there.
No, I mean, I thought I was good. Look at that. That's the question you're asking of all the things.
Yo, listen. Do you know the funny thing was? Funny you said that though. I asked myself that question.
I'm just picturing you shitting in bed.
Assess whether I'm actually really shitting in bed. I was thinking about this for 19 months.
Listen, I wanted to ask. Did you go for therapy after this?
Do you know what I needed?
I think you needed it.
No, honestly,
he needs it.
No, but
that's big. That's big. Wow.
I think there is a couple that I know. The lady has actually said this to the guy a couple of times, and I heard it. And to be very honest, even I was so angry.
Yeah.
And she said it in Chi. You know how sometimes some of the things you say in Chi are so powerful.
Demeaning.
Just imagine what he just said.
Yeah.
It was said in Chi.
No, that would have been even more painful.
Worse.
Okay, so what did you do? What did you do?
Listen, now, thank goodness, I was raised by my dad where, like,
Shitting in bed is
hitting.
Oh, you
Shut up, man. What's this?
You know,
I got down to
don't talk saying shit for bed. I want to rock one.
She said I am shit in bed. Like, as in, I am shit at having sex.
Of course,
Why would I do that? But anyway, so like, yo, so I'll never forget it. I went for a walk. Like, I went for a long ass walk.
Yo!
I came back, she had gone. I was like, she knew.
So that was the end.
I've never seen her again.
You wanted to
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've never seen her again.
You wanted to shit on her face.
But on a serious note, I think for me, I've had a lot of like ego killing moments after that. But that always rests in my mind as like the one.
Yeah, no, that's very painful. I think when I was in senior high school, there was this woman. I think that was also dragging him. No, it wasn't about me. It was about a guy, a friend of mine. That guy is actually promiscuous. I should say. I should put this on record.
Right.
And I think one of the times we had gone to the canteen to have a meal, and whenever we get there, this guy goes like, "Hey, Auntie Adwa party, you know that kind of thing." And then one day the woman said, "Che, I will party. I will just party.
That is straight emotional damage. Straight.
Yeah. So I think that this runs across with every man.
Yeah.
One of the things that bruises a man's ego is when you let him know that they are shit in bed. Like, it really hurts. Even if they are, I think you should find a way of telling them.
Yo, that could start a war.
Yes, of course.
And you know, look, I'm gonna be real here.
Charlie, see. What you guys do, bro, relax. Right, calm down. Okay.
You're getting emo?
He's getting emo. Like, listen, it's trauma. It's serious trauma.
What's up,
And look, when he's talking, I can feel the aura from here.
Charlie,
we need to.
No, I know.
Maybe we should change the subject.
I think it's something. No, to be honest, I think there's so many people listening to this right now.
You sure you want to talk about this?
Oh yeah. So many people.
Absolutely.
But this
So
is
many
a
people
safe
are.
space.
So many people are
here for you.
See, this is why guys don't express themselves.
No, you know that's actually true.
So many
Like this.
So many people are in bed.
No, but seriously, this is serious. This is
So many
serious.
people. So many
To be
guys.
fair, this was a long time ago.
Okay, but Posse, let me find out from you. If you found yourself in Nanye's shoes, what would you have done?
Oh, me no man tell me that.
No.
If you
I
found
said
yourself
if. I said if.
in Nanye's
I don't
shoes,
even want to. No.
You know what they say about empty barrels?
They make the
the
most
most
noise.
noise.
Yes, I'll make
Shit.
let the noise speak. The noise will speak for me.
You sure say you know shit already?
the noise is even distorted.
The noise.
Distorted noise.
The noise.
Are you sure you're not already shitting?
Go to.
Are you sure you're not being shitty already?
Go to room. You hear ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. The bell is ringing. The bell is telling you to come to church.
But
You're making noise.
But Jason, what about you? What would you have done in an instance?
I think
like
what he did was the best thing ever, and I think it's
Which is?
go for a walk.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's exactly
No, but
what
that
we
one
have
is
done.
also dangerous.
But hoping that
No, a car can knock you.
it's true.
Do you know what? At that point in time, I won't even lie to you. If a car knocked me, it took me. It would
At
be
this point,
distressing.
you should just go to, no, you should just go to the shower.
it'll be perfect.
Open the shower and then
No, you see, it's not even about the shower. The thing is, I wouldn't want to be in the same space with a woman like that for whatever reason. Like, I think I'll go for the walk and pray and hope that when I come back,
Charlie, before we go, I want to find out, what if you love this person? Because right now I'm thinking about.
that vanishes.
she went this low.
Prove yourself.
No, maybe she was just angry.
Oh no.
Sometimes-
Oh yeah. I agree with you. See,
No, you know, sometimes when you are very angry-
maybe the girl was very angry, so that thing
That I
just
left
came
the
out.
toilet seat up.
Of course.
Yeah, that is just.
For example, you don't like it when there's a string of hair.
She basically made a comment about something I cannot remove from my body.
Exactly.
You have to understand. And you know,
stay with
I'm
you
going to be
forever.
controversial here, right? I'm going to be on the real. Let's be honest here. Every guy here has been with a girl where, for example, hygiene, right, in that area is not the best.
But you don't say.
But you keep
You
quiet.
never say.
You know how to deal with that. You're
Never.
like, you know what? I'm gonna keep that to myself.
Yeah.
So what if the girl is also in bed?
Yeah, but
Guys
you never
hardly say that.
Guys would never say.
Guys
the
will
thing,
hardly
it's a
say
cool
that.
down. I don't know
It's-
why.
You would never come back into the bed anyway, but
Yeah.
we don't tell you.
That would be the last time with her. The
Yeah,
first
of course,
and probably
of
the
course.
last
That's it.
time
I'm
with
never
her,
gonna
but
get
you
into
never
bed
say
with
it
you
to-
again.
Especially to her. If you say it, maybe to your boys, Charlie, you know something. That's this girl, Charlie.
You be yawa cry.
But if the girl is
never
beautiful,
say
if you're
it
not
to
good,
the
you're
girl.
not good.
But
No,
you never
no,
say
but
it to
I
the girl.
quickly want
If
to
you're
find
not
out
good,
from
you're
you.
not good.
Nanye, I really want to find out from you. You know, sometimes when you're very angry, like when you are pushed to the wall, when your ego is so bruised, for example, you know, you hardly say the things that you would have said on a daily basis.
Right.
So maybe this girl was pushed to the wall instead of you
I see.
admitting to the fact that, oh, I'm sorry, this is
Yeah,
what I
but
did. It's
still,
wrong.
there's a limit.
Okay, let me tell you something. You know how we
Be quick with it.
All right,
We have to wrap up.
You know when you're with someone, right? See, even if I'm not in a relationship with you, right? I think about certain things before I say them.
Before you
Yeah.
say them.
Now you would expect that if you're in a relationship with someone who loves you,
say it.
the thought process should even be more intense.
Yo, but sometimes it happens.
No.
We're
To
We're
me,
humans.
any girl that goes out of that extreme to be able to say something that
Doesn't
they
have to
know
be
will
with
hurt
you,
you,
right?
So let me
doesn't love you.
Nanya,
Okay.
so you prefer a lady who you're not good in bed, and then
Dude, we were talking about a toilet seat up,
No,
and then she said that. It's different. It was like, honey, I need to talk to you about something.
Maybe
I feel like we need
this is
to-
something that she really wants to tell you, but then
But not in that
moment.
particular circumstance.
So
Especially
how?
when we were just talking about
how?
a toilet seat that I left.
So Nanya, that would be it for you, right? Gone. And I don't even need to ask you.
Gone.
That would be it.
That's it.
I don't know about possible.
I'll go back and prove my points.
How do you get that chance?
Exactly. I wouldn't.
So I'm thinking.
I'll go
I
back.
think that I don't know, but I think it would be it. But also it depends on Charlie. I think it would be it.
It'll be it.
I think it would be it.
It'll be
Man,
it.
and I
Yeah,
think
it will
it
be.
will. That's it.
I'll come back and prove a point, and then when you ask me, I'll ask you, am I in bed?
But you see,
Am
But
I
you would
in
never
bed?
think of her the same.
Oh, me,
Okay, I don't think I would ever be in love with that lady
Exactly.
again. And on that
But
note, I think
if you are shitting bed, you are shitting bed.
Girls, think before you speak. Oh,
this guy is in bed.
If you are not
But
good,
thank
you are
you. We are done. Hello.
Wife is
So this has been BMPS, bald, muscled, pot-bellied, and skinny. Your host, Kofi Hayford. I did this with Let's
are
Go
going
and
to
Train
train. Yeah.
and Jason,
Yeah, where to
and of course, Nanya. Catch you some other time.